I'm Yusef Scoggin. I am a long-standing stakeholder here in the Central West End, former resident. Family's been in the neighborhood since the 1950s, and I have been the chair of the SBD for approximately 15 years. Community improvement districts provide a level of infrastructure and the funding stream to help support communities and the various priorities that they might have. These might go above and beyond what local government may be able to implement immediately. They can range from everything such as infrastructure, security, beautification, but it ultimately just serves as another resource for which you can leverage other outside investment into your community. So that's what has truly benefited this neighborhood over the last many decades that the SPD is in place. I've been involved for like almost the last 2 decades, a little bit more than 15 years, and this SPD has helped to generate both community buy-in, not just in terms of dialogue and commissioners and folks representing various part of our neighborhood, but most importantly have also utilized the resources that are generated through that tax to help implement in real time what is necessary. Oftentimes budgets are created in government and other spaces and places that aren't able to pivot as quickly. When you have direct targeted resources that you can deploy in your community, it helps to generate what people really want to see with those quality of life related matters. And so that's helped us to provide extra security, cameras in the area, pedestrian street lighting, additional cleanup of trash and things of that nature, as well as sidewalks and what we want to truly commit in terms of accessibility for our community members that have disabilities. And so there are a whole host of things that you can do under such a SBD or a community improvement district, and that's what this neighborhood has been able to do. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, really, when it comes to whether people first respond well. So we do annual reports and assessments of community members' satisfaction with what's taking place. Number one, we want to get an understanding as to what people are identifying as a priority or a need, and then we make sure that that is implemented in our action plan and our budget for that coming year. But I think one of the most important pieces that can demonstrate whether people are satisfied or not is whether they decide to vote it in favor again going forward. And so a few years ago, we were reauthorized for another 10 years, and weren't just reauthorized, but we were reauthorized at a higher rate, at the maximum rate, because people wanted to see more resources dedicated to the efforts being deployed here in the neighborhood. So that allowed us to go from just shy of a $300,000 budget to over a $500,000 budget, which allows us to do more, do things faster, to cover all streets with pedestrian lighting, and to do various projects that we know we can start to achieve with the budget that we have previously. Yeah, I think I've learned a lot just being involved for this period of time about what community development really looks like, how citizens can participate both from a stakeholder and public comment perspective, but also through the use of resources that they might generate. Some communities use neighborhood association fees, but those aren't necessarily always codified or reliable, and special business districts can both provide that ongoing resource, but also through that allow for a level of transparency so that meetings and everything that is done is operating in a professional manner. And so this process this time has really been a joy for me in better understanding how community can really come from challenging times where there are some gaps in investment and really leverage things to create really a dynamic, walkable, beautiful community in which we live I think the expansion of similar projects is just a tool. It's not a panacea, but a tool that can be utilized with other tools north of Delmar and in other parts of our community would certainly help to usher a new future for St. Louis. These are all tools that have been demonstrated successful, and I think we need to think about how they get deployed elsewhere.